You know, last year on this stage, or I guess I should say the one in Austin, 180 miles down the road, I made the statement that tomorrow's test leaders are the ones who embrace AI today. And I've spent a lot of time getting asked questions, what does embracing AI today really mean? Well, I can tell you, it starts with data. You've got to have an organized and structured data strategy. Now, data is more than just measurements, right? The measurement part is very important. But to really gain insights, you've got to have the context of that measurement and have more information around it. You've got to know the operator who ran it, or the test system that it ran on, the test code that ran, or even the environmental conditions when it ran. To make informed decisions based on your measurements, you must have the context, and you can then get deep insights. We need to weave all this information together in a very structured way. So to learn more about our data strategy and the benefits of data and AI, I'd like to bring to the stage Taylor Riche and Stephen Dark.
Thanks, Kevin. So we have been working on reducing the time it takes for you to get meaningful insights from your measurement data. And today we're going to show you all some new skills we're teaching Nigel around data insights. So Stephen, tell us what we got here.
Sure. We have a side chassis configured to test a power management IC. We've captured the data for many key tests for this kind of DUT and then stored the results. As Kevin just mentioned, it's about much more than the measurement data. We're also storing the relevant context metadata into our new AI-ready data format. This is a key foundation that enables Nigel to provide the kinds of insights that we seek. Are you ready to get started?
Let's get it.
Awesome. So a common thing that a validation engineer will need to do is look at the most recent data. So therefore, let's ask Nigel, what measurements do you have? And here I need to put a time frame on it. Let's just say from yesterday. Great, so here we see that Nigel has provided a list of tests that we can go look at. In addition, Nigel has also provided some extra information that we could expand if we so desired.
That's great, and I see actually Nigel has given you some next steps.
That's right, Nigel's here to help guide us along the way. And this is also a great feature for us, to learn the kinds of capabilities Nigel can give us over time. So this is just a great way to introduce Nigel. Let's see, we need to look at some information, right? This is a keynote. So this test right here is super critical for power management ICs. So why don't we take a look at that? Show me the data for, load transient voltage. And at this point, Nigel is asking for some additional information. And this is because Nigel knows that we've captured this measurement over many different DUTs across many different measurement parameters. And honestly, if we were to look at all this data on the same graph, it would probably be just a jumbled mess. So we need to tell Nigel what we want it to do. And at this phase of the validation cycle, I'm very interested in understanding the DUT-to-DUT performance. So I'm going to ask Nigel to look at all the DUTs, but I want to look at a specific measurement condition. So Nigel, use Vn equals 12, and we'll do the second step. And then we need to say, say for all DUTs. And here we see that Nigel has given us a graph of the data that we requested. Yeah. Yeah, and so we have the DUT set up to output a constant 5 volts. So if you were to look at this data here, what we would expect is to see a constant 5 volts across the entire graph. However, you can see here at the 1 and 2 millisecond location that something is happening. This is because we're drastically changing the loading on the output. So we're seeing a voltage deviation. And right now it's about, I don't know, 1/10 of a volt, which is what we expect for this particular DUT. But also notice just how nicely Nigel formatted this graph for us. It's report ready out of the box. This is not something you're going to get with your traditional AI out of the box, generating code to show you some data.
Yeah, it's really great. I mean, I see all the data you asked for on the plot, but why is all that gray shading there as well?
Great question. So Nigel knows our context. Nigel knows that we're looking at validation data. And Nigel also knows that, hey, you're probably trying to understand something about the DUT-to-DUT variability here. And so in some cases, Nigel's going to add some extra information that it thinks is relevant for us to do our job. So in this case, what you're seeing here is the mean plus or minus 3 and 4 standard deviations.
That's really cool. Is there anything else that Nigel can do?
So a common problem that validation engineers face is that they are constantly having to look through a mountain of the most recent data, looking for interesting things that is worth them spending more time on. So come on, Nigel, do you see anything interesting? Anybody who's ever done this job knows that this takes a massive amount of manual effort. But with Nigel's assistance, I can do this in a fraction of the time. So it looks like Nigel found something interesting for us. Here we're looking at the exact same test as before, except now we're looking at it under a different measurement condition. And here we see that the voltage deviation has gone way further than what we were seeing before.
So that's great. So Nigel helped us sort through our data. It helped us create report-ready visualizations, and it even pointed us in the right direction to save us time in our debugging. This is really great. Thanks, Stephen.
Oh, thank you, Nigel.
Yes, thank you, Nigel. And the exciting thing about this is it's just not a demo, right? We are taking this from the keynote stage and we're putting this in your hands as part of an early access program starting in July. So if you're interested to learn more about that, talk to me, Stephen, or inquire at the expert bar.
Now, I think it's important to call out this kind of signals a shifted mindset, right? You know, Stephen mentioned the mountains of data. I mean, for years, it's been, how do we reduce data? How do we reduce data? But because we didn't know if we could analyze it. Well, Nigel can now help you analyze your data. And with more data in a structured way, you get more opportunities for better insights.
That's right. And insights are just the start. As you said earlier, rich, organized data is the foundation of any AI-powered test and measurement application. And while data is the foundation, having a trusted test and measurement focused AI advisor is key to making use of that data, and that's where Nigel comes in. We are building Nigel on top of cutting-edge LLMs. Just in the last 12 months, the leading models have improved their response latency by 15 times. They've increased the context they can consume by 128 times, and they've improved efficiency anywhere from 100 to 1,000 times. Kevin, you talked about Moore's Law earlier, but this goes way beyond that. And while Nigel takes advantage of all this rapid scaling, we are also making it uniquely NI by augmenting it with our almost 50 years of experience in test and measurement. And that makes Nigel unlike any other general purpose AI advisor. It is specifically tuned for this industry. And this is just the beginning. We are teaching Nigel about code generation. We are teaching Nigel about our entire software platform. And we are teaching Nigel about our hardware and how to best build systems of systems. And all this while integrating the benefits of the latest AI models and technologies. Nigel will continue to get smarter, and we look forward to partnering with all of you to take advantage of it.
Thank you, Taylor.
Thanks, Evan.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.